All right. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us this morning. We're heading into the last part of January, so we wanted to come together and really give you some tools for pushing through these last couple of days and really setting yourself up for the month of February, because we are about to hit the craziest part of our business. If you've never experienced a February or a March before, or an April or a May, this is the time when our businesses really start to boom. I think January was kind of a false flag a little bit because people had their stimuluses and stuff like that. And that's not typically how Januaries go, but hopefully that gave you fire to push through this month and give you consistency into the next month. And the ladies that are joining me on this call are some of the very best and have some amazing tips for you to really separate yourself from everyone else. So like, what is the separator? So one thing that separates people that are successful from those that aren't is people that are rooted in gratitude. So the first thing that we're going to do this morning is we're going to take a little time to write down our gratitude for the morning. I personally use the 5-minute journal. I do it every single day. It helps me stay focused on the things that I want to stay focused on. And then at the end of the night, it does have a little spot where I can reflect on my day and how I can be better the next day. So for these first couple moments, we're going to spend time to write down at least 3 things that you're grateful for, or whatever your format is in your gratitude. If you don't have a gratitude journal, you can pull out a piece of paper and write these things down. I'll just give you a brief synopsis of what mine looks like. It says, I'm grateful for 3 things that you write down. What would make today great? 3 things. And then your daily affirmation, I am, and then you can write either one thing or multiple things down. And then after this, we're going to go into some Lavelle news, and then we'll jump right into it. But I think from what I'm seeing from Jason and from what Paul is saying, it looks like there's something big coming. There's that Instagram thing that you just can't get away from in your back office that shows up every single time. And I think if they're putting something in her face like that, then you know as well as I know, they will deliver something huge. I don't know if any of the other ladies that are on joining me today want to add anything about any news or anything Lavelle related that you guys have noticed as well.
Whether it's the Instagram thing or not, they were alluding to the new product release, which nobody knows what that is, but it was also on Instagram that we may have a new product in the very near future.
Yes, and I believe, isn't it next weekend is Cabo? So there's going to be tons of announcements there, of course. So I think that's going to be huge. So stay tuned. I'm sure leaders that are going to Cabo will go live in respective pages so that if you're not attending, you'll be able to at least get caught up on the news. So make sure you're staying consistent, you guys. With that being said, I think we'll just jump right in because I know these women that are with me have so much information to provide. And I know that I want to give enough time for each of them to speak on what has really helped them and how we can help you guys separate yourself from the people that don't see success in this business to be the person that does see success in this business. So there's a few things that you need to do, things that have worked for me, things that have worked for Lydia and Ashley and Katie, and I can't wait for them to share with you. So first, I'm going to start off by saying, if you don't believe first that you can do something, you can do all the tasks in the world, but if the belief is missing, it's not going to come to fruition like you want it to. So our minds are constantly obviously providing us with distractions, whether that's like your kids, whether that's things of this world, so like Netflix, what's going on in the world around us. It is easy for us to get distracted, and when you are distracted, that's when you start to lose like your focus, and that's when you can start to develop a doubt because you're not seeing the progression that you would like to in your business. So maybe you're in this place right now where it's January 29th and you're not seeing how it's possible that you're going to achieve the rank or the goals or whatever you had set out for yourself at the beginning of this month. Um, and then you start to doubt yourself. And when you start to doubt yourself, that steals the hope that you have. And if you do not have hope, then anything you write down on a piece of paper, like the passion is lacking from that. So how do you change your belief? I think everyone's like, oh, you got to believe in yourself. You got to believe in yourself and all these things. But then you're like, okay, I know I should believe in myself, but how do I do that? I think that you have all these thoughts that are coming into your mind day after day after day, right? Thoughts that are saying like, I can't do this. Maybe I'm not good enough. How come she is moving so much faster than me? Like whatever it might be, we have those thoughts on a consistent basis. And I'm going to tell you that those thoughts won't stop coming into your brain no matter what rank you're at. You can be a 200K and those thoughts are still going to come in like, do these people like me? Am I a good enough leader? Who's going to figure me out because I'm an imposter? Like all those things happen to even, I'm sure, Maria Dillard at the top of the company. Those thoughts are always going to be there. And I think where we set ourselves up for failure is we think when we have to change our belief that those thoughts just go away. And that's not the case. Those thoughts are always going to be present. It's what you do in the moments that those thoughts come about. So when those thoughts are arising, when you're hearing that little whisper in your head that says like you failed at everything else, or those whispers in your head are like, you're not a good enough leader, you're not doing enough, um you're not as good as so and so. When those thoughts creep into your mind, what are you doing with those thoughts? Because in that moment, if you truly want to change your belief, you have to recognize that those thoughts are coming, and b know that you have a choice to replace them with a new thought. You have a choice. You do not have to accept that thought as your truth, and you have the ability to change what you're thinking going forward. I can tell you personally, from my experience, last year I was distracted by so many things that happened, and that stole my joy, that stole my hope, that stole my passion. And when I decided to cut out everything that was distracting me, that means like if there's apps that are distracting you, if there are things like you can say, I want to be on TikTok and produce content, but if it is distracting you more than it is bringing business to you, then you need to remove it. If there are people in your life, not saying like your children, because we all know that like children can be distracting, but if there are people that are dragging you down and they're distracting you from your purpose, like you need to limit your time with those people. If you're finding yourself binge watching Netflix for days on end, I promise you that's not going to get you what you want in your business, but you need to make the conscious effort of, I'm removing this distraction so that I can change the belief I have in myself. And there is no progress that is going to be made unless you do this work. You recognize when the thoughts are coming in. So the beginning of this year, I had to say to myself, I'm going to change the way that I'm thinking, because this way that I've been thinking for this long hasn't served me up to this point. So why would I continue down that path of thinking these toxic thoughts that have sabotaged me, that have caused me to procrastinate, that have created doubt in my mind, that have stunted my growth? What if I would just try to think a new way? Let's see what happens. I had no idea. So on Wednesday, I hit 12K on my husband's account and I got the $12,000 bonus. So now we're a double auto bonus earner. I had no idea how I was going to make that happen, because I can tell you, going into January, the month before, his account was sitting at 4,000, you guys. So I didn't know how it was going to happen. And I think when you're so focused on how can I make this happen, that's when your belief and your ability to think that this can happen gets destroyed. Your belief will be destroyed if you try to understand how it's going to happen. And so I had to start the month thinking, I don't care how this is going to happen, and I don't know how this is going to happen, but I'm going to change my thoughts this month, and I'm going to cling to truths and cling to things that are true about me. Like, I am worthy and deserving of this. I am capable. I'm a leader. I know what I'm doing. I am impacting people. That's why affirmations are so important, because when those negative thoughts come in, you look at the affirmations that you've wrote down and you replace that thought with an affirmation that you wrote down. So when your brain is trying to tell you, remember you fail at everything, you acknowledge that it's there. Okay, thought, I see you, but I'm not going to allow that to be my truth anymore. I am standing in the truth that I can be successful with this. If that thought that's coming in that is saying, this isn't going to be possible, I don't see how, you acknowledge that that thought is there. Okay, thought, I see that you're there, but that is not my truth anymore. I don't know how this is going to happen, but I'm going to be diligent in the things that I do day in and day out and make the progress I need to. And the how will happen when it is meant to happen. So that's what I had to do with my mindset this month, is think about the things that were sabotaging me, the things that I was telling myself. And I was like, I need to replace these thoughts, or I'm always going to repeat this same cycle and I'm never going to get forward. It doesn't matter how many times I add people to my network, or what do I post about, or, um, you know, talk to a team, or enroll a promoter. If I'm not believing the things that are true about me, or the things that I am capable of accomplishing, I'm dead in the water, because those thoughts will sabotage you. So I changed my thoughts. I was diligent about the things that I was doing. And there's going to be times when you're like on that mountain and you're like, I feel good. I'm going to do all these things. I'm going to rock this day. And then life happens. Like, your kids throw up. um, your dog runs away. I'm trying to think of like a coworker's needs, somebody leaves your team, a customer has a complaint. Like, those things happen. And you can either, in those moments that those things happen, like throw up your hands and be like, I'm just going to give up, or say, I am making a choice that, instead of sitting in this place of, oh God, my day is just ruined, I'm going to say, no, I got to still do the things that I said I was going to do today. I need to figure out a way. I'm not going to sit in front of TV and watch it. I'm not going to allow myself to be consumed by these things. And just, I need to keep moving forward. You got to keep moving forward no matter what the day throws at you. So I kind of wanted to pass it off to Ashley, because she was going to touch on consistency, which that's what this is about. So how can you be consistent? How can you show up for the Zooms and the things like that when those life things happen? So if Ashley, you want to share.
Good morning, you guys. Oh my gosh, I had nightmares last night that I wasn't gonna get up for this Zoom because I'm not like an early person, but I'm actually happy I'm up. I'm like, hey, I got time to get stuff done before my kids get up. So yeah, consistency, you guys. This business is wrapped around consistency and mindset. Like, Meghan started with mindset, and it's so true that it starts with mindset, and then its consistency kind of follows along with that. Consistently plugging in, and I'm going to go through kind of how I stay consistent. You guys, I've done this business for 2 years now with a full-time job, 2 kids, husband working 6 days a week for USPS. I mean, all the things. So I'll tell you how I was consistent, but to be able to push through on days that you don't want to be consistent, or days you're just tired, or you've had a long day at work. It's important to have your whys. You need to know your whys, why you're doing this business. your long-term goals. What are you doing it for? You know, you need to make sure those whys are somewhere that you see every day. Post it on your fridge, on your mirror, your dream board. Get dream boards done. Make your kids do dream boards. So when you're busy and you need to say, you know, mommy's very busy today. Let's look at our dream board so we can keep crossing things off on here. This is why we're doing this, you know, involve your kids and stuff. So first off, if you're on the Zoom right now, you're plugging in. That's great. You guys need to be plugging into Zooms. They're very, very important. I still jump on Zooms and I still always get pieces of information from them that help me in my business. So if you're here, this is a great start because you guys need to be plugging into Zooms. Also, you need to be plugging in to your uplines. If it's the end of the month and you're feeling like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can do that this month, go get with your upline, you guys, your upline, and get a plan down. And, you know I talk to my team a lot about, okay, no, you can do this. Let's switch the mindset. What do we need to do? Write these things down. And let's do this. I got, you know, even me, it's hard to just kind of be like, okay, I don't want to be consistent today because I've been comparing myself. If you're comparing yourself to other leaders, quit following them on Facebook. Quit watching them because that's going to destroy you. Like comparison will kill you like fast. I used to do a lot of that. And when I stopped doing that, it was like a huge game changer for me. And so how I'm consistent, you guys, through work. I work full time. My son has hockey 4 days a week. And, you know, I have a 5-year-old daughter too, plus a dog. So being consistent is so huge, you guys. So how I like to do it, because I work, is I like to time block, and I'll explain how I do that in a second. So definitely get a notebook out and stuff like that. And then I batch work. Batch work is so huge. So I'll start with time blocking. And this just means that, so I'm not aimlessly just kind of doing stuff on Facebook or social media or just in chats that don't make sense for my business. You guys, we're in bonus season. So time block is what I do is I'll say, okay, from 7 to 7:30, I need to get my son ready for school, right? I don't have my notifications on my social media. I don't see that I have, 30 messages in my messenger until I actually open the app. So I found that personally huge for me. So I'm not feeling like I have to grab my phone all the time every time I see a ding ding. So turn your notifications off if that feels like you, if you're constantly grabbing your phone and losing track of what you're trying to do at the moment. So I'll say, 7 to 7:30 and write these down, and maybe these change daily, maybe they change weekly or whatever when your schedule is changing. So 7 to 7:30, I need to get my son out the door for school. My team knows, okay, she's probably not going to be replying at this time. Once I have him off to school, I will jump into my chats, and I know I will work chats, follow-ups, 3 ways. I have an hour. I set an alarm on my phone when that alarm goes off. I know I need to go and do my IPAs. Okay. So that self-development, you guys, this goes along with being consistent, with getting your mindset right. You need to find some sort of self-development that works for you. Motivational videos, audiobooks. I read my Bible every single morning. I write down, my what I'm grateful for, your gratitude, like that stuff is huge for setting your mindset up right. So block time for that in the morning for yourself. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You can't. If your mindset's off and you didn't take care of your mind before you jump into your chats and social media, and something's not going the way you thought, if your mindset isn't right, then some people just give up for the day. So get your mindset right first thing in the morning. And then, so time block yourself. Okay. It's so important. So you're not aimlessly scrolling. Like if you catch yourself scrolling, you didn't time block for that time. Or like Meghan said, if you're sitting down and watching Netflix, like, no, okay, did I get all my stuff done? Am I okay to be watching this right now? Or did I not get any of my tasks done today? Maybe I need to shut this off and do that. So that's huge for me is time blocking. And then batch working, so I can post consistently while I'm working. Sundays are days where we relax at home. I feel like I have like time to set my week up. So whatever day works for you. Sunday's my best day to do this. So what I do is I get ready on a Sunday. I'll do my hair and makeup so I look presentable for photos I'm gonna take. And I'll change into 5 different outfits and take different photos. I'll have my DFT on, and then you guys, I have photos ready for the whole week. you know, and then I'll write down. And yes, Megan has a Zoom for this, you guys, on Sundays. It's a really good one where you can sit and work together and get your week set up. So then I will write down kind of, and you know, I'll post in the moment, like when my son's at hockey and I want to post something that kind of just is like, okay, I want to post this. But generally I have like my week kind of planned out of what I'm planning on posting. So I'm not so stressed out about trying to take a photo and, you know, doing that stuff in the morning when I am getting kids out the door for school. I am going to hockey and I am needing to do dinner and stuff. I have my pictures and posts already ready to go. I also batch work stories. So I use the app Unfold. I think it's amazing. You can actually make your stories inside the app and leave them there. So I'll name them, you know, business opportunity or product story or whatever, and I can leave it in there. So then when I'm running out the door and I don't have time to post in my stories, then I'll just pop one of those in there. It's huge for me, working and just being such a busy mom, to be batch working. So if you haven't started batch working yet, definitely do that. I think you're gonna be very pleasantly surprised about how much time you have during the week by batch working on one day. So that's how I really remain consistent, you guys. Also on the days that you don't want to be consistent, those are the days you absolutely need to be consistent, because the days that you don't want to work, you know, let's say Saturdays, right? People are like, oh, I'm out, I'm doing stuff with my families, I'll just do my business on Monday. No, keep working, work on a Saturday, work when no one else is wanting to work, because that's when you get that breakthrough of, you know, being consistent with yourself. And so I think that's so important, is to be plugging into Zooms, your uplines, you guys, utilizing 3-ways. I have that just written down as something that I wanted to talk about, is utilizing 3-ways in your uplines, because I know that this helps with me. When I'm at work, I always bring Steph. She's in a lot of my chats. So when I am working and people need answers on stuff, she's in there to help. So make sure you're having your upline in 3-ways and stuff like that. You know, that third-party validation is key, but it also is huge when you are at work or you're busy, that you have a backup to help you answer questions, things like that. Someone's starting their mini and they need help with something, you have someone in that chat with you. So, you know, they can kind of help you be consistent. So I think that's so huge. You guys, I want to say something, is this business that today I wrote down what I'm grateful for. Today is my husband's last day at USPS. For the past 7 years, he's worked 6 days a week, split shifts, and takes care of our kids during the day. During Christmas, he works 30 days straight. He gets 2 hours of sleep a day. Some days I would call him and he's sleeping in his truck, pulled over on the side of the road, because he felt like he was going to crash because he was so tired. And I told him, last year I told him, you will never do another Christmas. Oh, it makes me emotional. He was saying goodbye to all his post offices this morning. And without this business, without me being consistent, you guys, I wouldn't be able to bring him home. He won't be missing hockey anymore. He won't be missing things. Like, I felt like so long, like, it's just, even people ask me, are you a single mom, people that don't know me? And they're like, because I never see your husband. Yeah, he's never home. So he was just calling me this morning. His alarm went off at like 4:30, and I always hear it go off like 16 times. He set like 16 alarms, and he's done this for so long. I told him, because I heard his alarm go off, I said, this is the last time you have to get up at 4 a.m, you know? So I'm so excited. And if I wasn't consistent, you guys, and that was my why a long time ago, when I first started this business, I almost thought I'd never be able to cross that off. And I stayed consistent. I remained consistent through, you know, family and trouble. And if I would have just stopped being consistent, it would not be happening. You know, like, it seems surreal, but keep those whys close to you where you see them every day. Because on days that you're tired and you don't want to work your business and you feel like, oh, I'm just done for today, you know, we all have those days. It's important to have that why visible and say, no, I'm going to push through. I'm going to do the damn thing today and get my IPAs done and get my chats taken care of and make sure everybody's good, so that these goals get achieved. You know what I mean? So it's important to know why you're doing this business, you guys. I hope those tips were helpful on how to stay consistent. It's the there's still so much time left of this month, you guys. Don't throw your hands in the air and give up this month. You go freaking work your business and do the damn thing, because guess what? You still get a paycheck on Tuesday. It's double triple fastbacks right now. Like, so much more money to be made, so much more lives to be changed. So don't throw your hands in the air because it's month end and you feel like you didn't reach your goals, because there's other goals you can reach. And I've seen a lot of crazy things happen at the end of the month if you're trying to hit a rank. So I love you guys. I hope you have an amazing Friday. It's Flex Friday, so I love Fridays. And I'm really happy that I was able to come on here and pour into you guys. So
Thank you so much, Ashley, for sharing all of that. And congratulations to Jordan. I bet that is the best feeling in the whole wide world for him. I'm so happy for you guys. But it's true, you guys. There are going to be times when you don't feel like sending messages, when you don't feel like doing the things. And I think when you actually show up for yourself in those moments, that's when you build confidence in yourself too. That you don't just keep quitting on yourself, that you keep showing up, that you keep doing the things. And I can attest to how Ashley's feeling too, because I was working a part-time job all of last year, and it was stealing my joy. It was stealing my time. My daughter would cry every time she went to daycare. I never stopped looking at that post-it I put on my dream board that said, I am going to quit my part-time job. I got my W-2 and my daycare like statement or whatever for the year before bonuses were announced. And I looked at that number and I was like, what am I doing here? I need to push every single day. And because I did that, I was able to come home to my kids. And just like Ashley said, there's like when somebody tells you no, or when somebody says like, or I don't think I can do this business, I quit as a promoter, because it's going to happen on your team sometimes where people give up on themselves. Just because people give up on themselves on your team does not mean that you do the same thing for yourself. Do not allow anything to stop you from achieving that thing that you want to achieve, that is going to bring you to tears. And here's the thing. Sometimes it's not, it is for you, but sometimes you need to accomplish those things so you can give other people permission to do the same thing for their life too. So like somebody might see Ashley's story about bringing her husband home, and their husband is working his ass off and never seeing their kids and all those things. And because she showed up every day, she gave somebody else permission to do the same for their life. And that's just so huge. So congratulations on that. I want to pass it off to Lydia, because you guys, if you're treating your business like a hobby, expect to get paid like a hobby. So along with consistency and belief in yourself, treating your business like a business is truly important. And I cannot wait for her to share what she has to say about that.
Good morning, everyone. I'm sorry my lighting is so bad. I'm actually hiding in my closet. I'm on mountain time, and so it is 5 a.m. here. And I have 3 little kids in the house. So the thought of them waking up at 5 a.m. For me sitting in my kitchen is like my actual hell. So I'm hiding in my clothing closet. And thank you so much, Megan, for thinking of me to be on the Zoom. I am honored. Honestly, when I saw the names of the people who were on this Zoom, I was like, this is a really cool feeling, because, like Ashley, I know she only joined the business a few months before me, but she was someone that in the beginning, I really tried to, mimicry in some ways as a form of compliment. And she has just been always so good at social media. Megan, you're the same way. That those, you're people that I tried to emulate in the beginning, for my own success, and to be asked to do this with you guys is a really, really cool honor. So, I have a bunch of notes here, you guys, and I apologize. It may kind of be like drinking from a fire hose, because I'm gonna throw it all at you, because I don't want to take up too much time. And so the thing that I'm going to talk about, like Megan said, was you cannot treat this like a hobby. If you treat it like a hobby, it will always be a hobby. That's just point blank. If you treat it like a hobby, if you only want this to be a hobby, fine. However, you're on this Zoom at this god awful time. Well, maybe for some of you it's not god awful, but you're on this Zoom, so that tells me that you don't want this to be a hobby, right? this is not hard. I think it was Talissa. I was listening to a Zoom that Talissa was on, and one of the things that she was saying was, you guys, this isn't a hard job, but it requires dedication. You know, a hard job is waking up at 4 a.m. like Ash's husband does, and going out into, you know, the streets of the world and doing that. You know, a hard job is what my husband does. We're in agriculture. He's outside 14 hours a day, just busting his butt every single day, every day. Hard job is construction, going out at 5 a.m. with a hard hat on in the freezing cold to build buildings for people. Those are hard jobs. This is not a hard job. You are literally making an income from your phone. This is not hard. However, it does require dedication. Okay, it does require showing up every single day. I echo everything that Ashley said as far as batching and time management and finding, you know, ways to manage your time. Also, I echo turning off the notifications on your phone. Pretty much everything Ashley told you guys was gold. Um, this does require you to show up. For example, last night I was up later than I wanted to be because I'm going through my alphabet on my friends list to clean up my friends list because I need to add more friends. I need to get rid of friends, that I need to change my algorithm. So I'm interacting with people that I haven't interacted with in a long time. And it was one of those letters where there were just hundreds of people. And it's like, when will this end? And there were multiple times where I almost gave up, where I was like, you know what, I'll just finish it tomorrow. But I pushed through and I got it done. And the whole time I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I have to wake up at 4:40 a.m. for this Zoom tomorrow. Um, this is not physically hard, but I am tired. I don't want, you know, it's you still have to show up just like any other job. That being said, one thing that I just want to briefly bounce off in that regard, and again, you guys, I warned you, it's going to be like drinking from a fire hose because I just have so much that I want to tell you. Um, if you have a significant other or a spouse, or your children are old enough to understand, you know, my children are babies. I have 3 babies in the house, and babies, toddlers. They don't always understand, and that's another reason why I've had to be better about my time management, is because they don't understand that I'm working. If I'm home and I'm answering messages and things like that, they don't get that, and I really had to check that, especially during bonus season. I think I've gotten better about it. It's still a work in progress, but talk to your family about your business. I waited a long time to bring my husband alongside me in understanding what this business was doing for us financially and for me. You know, luckily my husband always supported me because he knew this was something I was passionate about, but I don't think he wrapped his mind around the fact that there was upward mobility for me in this until I got my auto bonus. And I actually had no intention of getting the vehicle for my auto bonus. It was my husband's idea. He's like, well, why would we not? Um, and so since then, I have continually, I tell him what our weekly paychecks are because I run his account as well. I tell him what our weekly paychecks are. When bonuses were announced, he was the first person that I told. I said, you know, you look at the money that's available to us. And he's like, okay, what do I need to do to help you? You know, if I would have kept that from him and just thought, oh, he doesn't care, he doesn't, you know, he thinks this is silly, I wouldn't have that moral support to where he's willing to, you know, kiss me goodnight and go to bed, and me sit there and finish doing my, you know, my algorithm cleanup last night. This is a busy time, and it's important to figure out whether your spouse or your family is in this with you or not. Sometimes they're not, and that's very hard. I can't speak to that, but have that conversation and involve them in this in some way. I had a thought last night about these bonuses, and as far as the showing up and the working hard, I want you guys to imagine something with me. So imagine you are working at a store in the mall. I don't care if it's Foot Locker or you know, I haven't been to a mall in ages. I live in the middle of nowhere, you guys. I live on a ranch, so I haven't been to a mall in forever. But I'm thinking back to my teenage days. You know, you work in, Bath and Body Works or Foot Locker or a clothing store, whatever. You work there, and they come to you on January 1st, and they say, okay, they say, Megan, we're gonna give you a $4,000 bonus or a $12,000 bonus or a $40,000 bonus. All you have to do is not miss a single day of work for the next 4 months. You have to, clean the toilets and mop the floors and close up every single night. And you have to do X amount of sales every single day. You would do it. There's no question. Well, I mean, there's some people that wouldn't. There are some people that are not motivated by those things. But if this was a brick and mortar building, if this was a brick and mortar business where you went to a physical office every day, or you went to, I mean, I don't care if you say real estate, whatever. If this was a brick and mortar building and they came to you and they sat you down in the corporate office on Monday morning, January, and they say, okay, we're going to give you this bonus, but you got to do X, Y, and Z. Bet your butt you would do X, Y, and Z. If someone else was holding you accountable, not only is your job dependent on this, but we're going to give you a bonus at the end. Okay, this is the same thing, you guys. This is the same exact thing. Okay, it's going to get busy. It's going to get hard, but they are handing you that bonus. This is not just a metaphor. This company is handing you this money. You have to be willing to show up and do it. And I just, for some reason, I had that image pop into my head last night, the enthusiasm of showing up every single day to work and knowing that you have this bonus on the way. This is a huge, huge opportunity for you guys. So one of the things for me that separates people, I was getting to a point here. One of the things that really separates successful people and unsuccessful people in this business, to me, is people who understand it as a business. Okay. Treating things like a hobby is making $15 here and there and spending it on, getting your nails done or whatever. That's a hobby. That's cool. Some people want a hobby, and that's just fine. People who want to have a business and residual income, Matthew McConaughey does a lot of inspirational talks. He calls it mailbox money. So you do the job well today, and 2 years from now, you're still going to be getting checks in the mailbox for the work that you're doing today. Okay, that's residuals. You want residuals. You have to understand this as a business. So there's a few things I'm going to tell you guys, and I'm not going to go into huge depth. You need to understand the comp plan. You need to understand how you are paid. This is something that I failed at when I first started, and I have a feeling that I would have run my business a lot more strategically had I known how to wrap my head around the comp plan. Lisa K. Fuller, if you find her channel on YouTube, she does videos that break down the comp plan into every minute detail, and she tells you how to maximize your income. That is huge. I know it might sound boring, you guys, but it's actually kind of exciting, because once you realize that there's these little ins and outs that will help you maximize your income, it's eye-opening. And you will look at your business in a different way. Your brain will have this switch, and you will start to look at your business as an actual business. You'll start to look at potentials, not just as people that you're helping, but an opportunity to propel your business forward. We don't use people to grow our business. People are just the building blocks that get us where we want to go. Keep track of your money and be wise with your money. This is something if you plan on growing your business exponentially, you need to start keeping track of your business. For tax purposes alone. And I know, you guys, I know there are some people who are like, snore, this is annoying. However, you are going to be taxed on this income. Once you hit a certain point, you will get a form in the mail that you will have to send in with your taxes because you're an independent contractor for this company. Um, but that also means that you have tax deductions. Okay. And this is something that separates successful people. Last year was the first year that I had to do this for this business. And thanks goodness, I think it was Stephanie Grachik went live and just kind of did a quick list of all the things that you can write off for your business. And thank goodness she did, because I wouldn't have done it. And it saved us so much money on our taxes. Another thing is I suggest, if you can, if you are living off of this income, this may not be for you right now. But I do recommend have a bank account, go to your local bank, call your local bank, however things are working wherever you are right now, set up a checking account just for your Thrive money. Okay. Just for your Thrive money, whether you're running yours in a spouse's account or just your own, whatever, set up a checking account just for your Thrive money. Get a debit card for that account. Only use that debit card when you absolutely need to, or you're doing business expenses. Because at the end of the year, when it comes to that tax season, you'll be able to go to that specific bank account and keep track of everything. And it will be very helpful for you. But also, that will give you a very, very good idea of how quickly this income is growing over time. Um, Again, if you're living off of this income, that may not be an option for you right now. However, you can still live off that income out of a different bank account. You can transfer money in your Payoneer, however you want to do it. But I will tell you, the Payoneer MasterCard is really, really cool. However, it's very hard to keep track of those expenses, keep track of that spending. And I'm a firm believer that if we don't know where our money is going, we have no idea how much money we can be saving, how much money we can be investing in ourselves. Don't get me wrong. I still use my Thrive money to go get my pedicures and stuff. I still use my Thrive money to get clothes and stuff, but keep track of that money because that is the income that you want to keep growing. And be wise with your money, you guys. If you're not in a position to, I think sometimes we get caught up in the adrenaline of those trackers, right? We love to see our trackers move. I love to see my tracker move. Even, oh my gosh, I love it. Even if it's just tiny bit, I love to watch that tracker move. However, don't get caught up in the adrenaline of watching the tracker move. Be wise with your money. If you're not in a position, if it's between, buying groceries for the week or offering 3 people free shipping, go get your groceries for the week. Okay. It just means you got to work a little harder and dig a little bit deeper, because people who are unsuccessful in this business are the ones who feel like this business has burned them in some way or another. And 90% of the time, it's not the business or their upline or their team that burns them. It's a choice that they made in the past. It's crumbs. If you leave crumbs, that means that those bad decisions you made can catch up to you in the future. So, if you make a poor decision with your money, then you've left crumbs for it to catch up to you. So be wise with your money, you guys. Also be professional. This is another crumb. Our group chats are fun. Your team chats are fun. It's a cool thing to be in a group chat with however other mini promoters, and it's you have this group of friends that's there every single morning supporting you and cheering you on. Keep it professional. Drama in group chats or drama on your page or drama in general is just toxic, you guys. For some of you, this may be the first, business or even job that you've been involved with, and that's wonderful. That's the beautiful thing about this industry, is that there's a place for everyone. However, because there is a place for everyone, you have a lot of different personalities involved. And so keep things professional in your group chats, and I can assure you that will help you stand out as a leader over time. last thing I'm going to say, and this is directed mainly at people who have been in this business for, a year or longer. Those of you who are brand new, I want you to take this and I want you to put it in your back pocket. You guys, you have to evolve. You have to evolve. You cannot do the same thing over and over and over again and expect it to continue to give you those residuals, that mailbox money. This is what I mean by that. You cannot keep posting the same thing. We always say go into groups. Okay. If you ever get to the place where you're like, oh my gosh, I'm in all the groups that I can be in. Like I'm tapped out on groups. Reinvent yourself. Okay. This is an example. For a long time, my shtick, my thing was I was a mom of 3 under 3. I was in agriculture and I did thrive. I mean, honestly, that's about all I had. And it got to the point where I wasn't getting as many likes on my posts. I wasn't getting the interaction. And so I had to reinvent myself. So now I do this thing where every Monday I do money Mondays. I talk about business tips or I talk about money management. On Tuesdays, I do T-shirt Tuesday. Every Tuesday, without fail, I will post a picture of me in this like witty T-shirt or a sweatshirt or something. And that's my thing is T-shirt Tuesday. So I have people sending me all the time, oh, I saw this T-shirt. You should get it for T-shirt Tuesday. Yes, Thankful Thursday, Flex Friday. Those are all great. On Wednesdays, I do a post about mental health and I ask how I can pray for people. Okay, so I had to reinvent myself. I had to evolve. I had to get more substance on my timeline because people were not seeing that substance anymore. People will get bored with you if you do not evolve. So if you have been in this business for more than a year and you've reached that plateau where you're like, gosh, like I'm adding new people, but like I'm just not hitting it off with them. Find some way to reinvent yourself. Find some way to add substance to people's day. And I promise you will become relevant again. And that's very, very important for maintaining your business. I'll tell you what, if you want to follow Ashley, I think she's phenomenal at this. Her page is clean, it's concise, and it has substance. That is someone that whenever I'm feeling like, oh my gosh, like I'm at a total loss, I don't know what to do, I go to Ashley's page. That's what I do. I go to Ashley's page. There's a few other leaders that I go to as well, but since Ash is on this Zoom, I'm just going to give her all the accolades. And I think, that's mostly all I've got. One quote that I want you guys to take away is you can't sell someone a dream if you look like a mess.
Amen to
We
that.
all have baggage. We all have drama. We've all got it. We all have stuff. You can be transparent on your page. You can talk about your struggle. You can talk about the hard days, but you cannot sell someone a dream if you look like a mess. Pick yourself up, get yourself ready in the morning, get yourself going, make your bed, get your kids dressed, and make yourself presentable to the world. Because if you were trying to sell someone a dream, you cannot look like a mess. That's all I've got, Megan. I'm out.
Thank you so much, Lydia. That was so many good things. And I just think, I think we're business owners. You have to treat it like a business unless, I mean, like you said, unless you want to get hobby money, you can do the hobby stuff. But if you truly want this to pay you like a business, you got to start thinking in the mindset of a business. And I think along the lines of what you were saying, so that I can transition into Katie so she can close us out, is like, sometimes your life can be a mess, but how can you package that together to help other people, to impact other people, to show them how you have evolved, and to show up even if you are having struggles in your life. And Katie, if you want to just share a little bit about how to stay consistent even when your life might be crazy, and how you personally have done that in your life real quick.
Yeah. So I actually, when Megan asked me to do this, also not a morning person, I was like, fine. My best friend asked me, I'll get up. But how many of you work a full-time job, or a part-time job? Drop a 1 if you do, or if you have at all while you worked this business. So I was thinking about not quitting, how during this season, a lot of things can be thrown at you. And one situation really sticks out to me. So it was 2 years ago when they had bonuses out again. We were on our way to Punta Cana. Things with my full-time job, the previous company that I worked at, was starting to get rocky. My manager and I did not really click. I was in a leadership position and things weren't good. And it was wearing on me. And so I had gone to a team retreat that November, and I came back and I remember she slammed me with a bunch of stuff, like literally one on top of the other, new stuff, you have to do this. And it upset me. That continued. We were getting ready to go to Punta Cana. I came back and she slammed me with a bunch of stuff again. It ended up that I stepped down from my leadership position. They cut my pay and they didn't tell me. And I will never forget the phone call that I got from Sonia, our 200K. She said, Katie, get up. Like, this is enough. You've given these people enough of your time. You've given them enough of your energy. They've stolen enough of your time with your family. Get up. And when all of that went down, when all that happened, like, I can remember sobbing and feeling terrible and wondering why she was pretty much attacking my character. And now that I look at that situation, like, I needed to be shaken. Like, I was in a leadership position and I was not being a leader at my company. I was not being coachable. I had a bad attitude, which, you know what, you guys, I have a strong personality and I can get a bad attitude real quick. Like, I gotta check myself. And I needed to go through that because I would never grow as a leader or as a person if I would have never gone through that. When I first went through that, I wanted to blame them. They're horrible. She just didn't like me. She was just a horrible manager. But when I look back, like 2 years later, I can say, like, oh my gosh, I actually was the problem. So, like, how many times in your business has there been things where you're like, oh my gosh, they were a bad customer, they were a bad promoter, ugh, it's just their fault. But really, maybe it's you. And you just need to look internally and realize that there's some things that you need to change. I recently started with a personal trainer, and I've gone in and out of the gym probably 100 times. And I didn't really ever notice this poster until like yesterday. And I was walking out of the gym and the poster caught my eye because it's a transformation and it's pretty amazing. And on the poster, it says, change yourself before you can set out to change other people. Like, how true is that? Like, you cannot change other people or help other people if you have stuff that you need to change. So I don't know what that is. Maybe it is your attitude. Maybe it is your leadership skills. Maybe it is like, I hate mornings. I hate getting up. Yesterday, I had to get up and go see the trainer early in the morning. Today, I'm getting up for this Zoom. Maybe you need to change up your routine. Maybe it's something just little. And I can tell you what sets people apart in this business and what doesn't is when people are coachable and you're teachable and you're open to new ideas and you are willing to reach up and say, I need help. Like, I've been stuck here for how many months? What do I need to do? And you go to your upline or a leader or someone that inspires you, and you're able to take that information in and you are able to turn around and use it in your business, because you will never grow in your business. You will never grow as a person if you can never look internally. Like, sometimes it's really hard. There's been a lot of times in this business that life has really happened. And when I look at it, it has been when there's bonuses out there. It has been when I'm trying to rank up. It has been, you know, those times when I'm trying to step further, and you will have roadblocks. Like, in this season, you're going to have roadblocks. Like, things are going to happen and they're going to be put in your path for you to push through them, not for you to say, well, life happened. I'm just like, it's okay. Like, I'll get it next time. No, like, they're there for you to be like, okay, well, this is happening and I'm going to evolve. I'm going to fix myself. I'm going to do what it takes to take my business, myself, my family, my goals to the next level. So I think that it's almost been 4 years for me. When I look back at things, like when people get complacent, when people aren't willing to take feedback, when people aren't willing to maybe let go of things. Meghan and I have had this conversation, when they're not willing to let go of things that they probably should. I can tell you one thing. I never want to feel that way that I felt when my pay was cut, when I stepped down from that leadership position. I sobbed. I don't know that I've ever sobbed that hard in my life. I never want to feel that way again. I never want somebody to take my joy like that again. I never want to give somebody that opportunity to do that. There's been so many good things on this Zoom about consistency, all the things Lydia said. You have to take all those things and use them in your business. Like, you won't grow if you don't. Like, if you're just getting on Zooms and you're not implementing and you're not doing the things that people say, then you will not grow. I think that the best advice that I ever got was when Sonia said to me, stop giving them your time. Like, stop letting people control you, stop letting situations control you, and stop being afraid of success. That was the biggest thing for me. I think that so many people get to that point and then they almost revert back and they're afraid. And yeah, a paycheck from your 9 to 5 is consistent, but maybe if you pushed, you would be able to do what Ashley has done in bringing her husband home, or you may be able to do what Meghan has done and not going to her part-time job and not having to bring her daughter to daycare when she's crying all the time. You know, maybe that's something that you could do. I just think that there's so many people out there that you haven't told about this that need to hear about this. And don't ever hold it back from someone because of your current situation. So don't ever make that decision for people because of what you're going through. I hear this all the time. Well, I don't think they'll be able to afford it. Well, I don't think that that's something that they could do. What? Don't make decisions for people. You need to get out there and you need to share it, because I personally think it's selfish to not share it. So I won't keep you guys too long. Meghan, did you want to add anything to that?
Oh, that was all so good because, well, for those of you that don't know, Katie and I are very close. So I remember all of those moments. I remember all of that. And you can either take situations that you go through and look through a lens of, why is this happening to me? That person's awful. The situation's awful. Or you can look into that situation with a different lens of, what is this trying to teach me? What do I need to learn in this season? And yes, there are some things that you need to change in order for you to get to the next level. You can't expect to do the things you were doing when you first started the business, and maybe you're a 4K now. You can't expect yourself to do those things to propel you to 12K. You can't do what you're doing as a 12K to get to 40K. Like, so you have to evolve, like Lydia said. You have to know, like, what are the things I need to change that are going to bring me to that next level? And sometimes, you guys, that's calling your own self out on your own bullshit. Let's be honest. You got to say, like, hey, am I the one that's the problem? If you're not willing to look at yourself internally first, very first, then you're always going to be dead in the water, because you're always going to blame everybody for your circumstances, and you're never going to take personal responsibility, which is one of the main keys to success and to separating yourself, is taking personal responsibility for what you're doing. I don't know who's available to do the 100 Days to Brave, but we're going to do that. Please drop your key takeaway that you took from today so that you can be in the drawing to win a prize. And who's available to do 100 Days of Brave?
I do it on Fridays at Star, your other best day.
Beautiful.
All right. Hey, guys. So I just want to say there's some words in here that I might not pronounce right. Just laugh with me and not at me. All right. So we're on day 25. It's dream in pieces. The Lord who rescued me from the paw of the lion and the paw of the bear will rescue me from the hand of this Philistine. And that's in 1 Samuel chapter 7, verse 37. God knows me. He knows you. He knows we need dreams in pieces because we would be too scared of the whole puzzle. Had I known I'd be an author and a speaker back when I was in college studying to be an elementary school teacher, I probably would have crawled under my covers and stayed there for a year or 5. I'm here today because of the little steps and the brave moments dotted throughout my writing career that have grown into this. I think of King David way back when he was a kid checking on his brothers in the battle against the Philistines. He found that everyone was scared of Goliath, this beast of a man who was fighting for the other army. Young David the shepherd told King Saul that he would go against Goliath. Everyone was stunned because David was a kid and the rest of the Israelite army, adult men were afraid of him. David's response shows us the importance of those daily steps of courage that lead to the bigger story. But David said to Saul, "Your servant has been keeping his father's sheep. When a lion or a bear came and carried off a sheep from the flock, I went after it, struck it, and rescued the sheep from its mouth. When it turned on me, I seized it by its hair, struck it, and killed it. Your servant has killed both the lion and the bear. This uncircumcised Philistine will be like one of them because he has defied the armies of the living God." And that's 1 Samuel chapter 17, verses 34 through 36. David, as a shepherd boy, fought a lion and a bear and rescued his sheep. He never killed the lion in preparation for the bear. He didn't kill the bear in preparation for Goliath. He just chose to be brave at every turn, to do his job and protect his sheep. And as the challenges grew in scope, so did David's belief in the ways God had uniquely created him. More importantly, David wholly believed in who God is and that God had a role for him to play that would require courage. The same is true for me and you. In this chapter, in this day, she highlights, he knows we need dreams in pieces because we would be too scared of the whole puzzle. And that kind of goes hand in hand with when you guys write out your goals, like you write out your big goals and then your steps to get there. The challenge for today is be brave. What's one area of your life where you know you are being brave right now?
That's so perfect because I think it goes along with doing the pieces every single day so that the big picture unfolds in the future. So good. I swear it's good every time. Brittany, do you want to pick somebody for the prize?
Oh, me? Oh, okay.
Oh.
All right, let me scroll back to the top. All right. Oh, it just froze. Hold on. Misty Ann.
Perfect.
Message me on Facebook and I'll get your address and I'll send you the list of what Lisa does for giveaways so you can pick your giveaway.
Awesome. Thank you all so much for taking your time with me and Ashley and Lydia and Katie, and thanks all of them for showing up today too. Remember to implement the things that you learn on these Zooms. If you're just hopping on, to say you did it, you're never going to move forward. So move forward this week. Let's crush these last couple days, impact people, be a light in the life of others. And I love you all so much.